Doing a military blimp. This one should be interesting. So I'm gonna start on the x-axis here, add in a reference photo. Let's see if I can actually get all the way through with this one. This photo is in perspective, so you just gotta work with what you got. But if you find like a detailed drawing of this or something, that'd be great. I'm gonna push it back a little on the negative x-axis here, so backwards. I'm gonna go to visibility, uncheck selectable here. So object properties, visibility. Now I can't move it by accident. Go to the image properties. I'm gonna turn opacity on and bump it down. And I'm gonna start with the whole shape, but I'm gonna do the details half and half, I think. So let's go ahead and just add a cube. Now let's add a cylinder. We'll do a cylinder to start. 6-sided. We're not doing anything crazy yet. RX90. Go to object mode, move it. Hold Z. Turn my X-ray back down again. Go straight into edit mode. This thing is at an angle, so I'm gonna do my best to kind of center it, I guess. Add a loop cut here. Say the front's a little taller than the back, but it could just be an angle. We'll do this number. Loop cuts, Control R, can add those in. I do want to pull this straight down. You can see how bad this perspective is really messing with me now. It's really not that good. So we'll model it in perspective, match it where we can, and then we'll straighten it out a little bit, I think, towards the end. Cool thing about working in 3D is you can do things like that. Then get it about right. Then don't get too upset if you don't get it perfect. You can always modify it later. Even if you added a bunch of detail stuff, you can just kind of proportionally edit everything in a way. I'm gonna keep these squared up as much as possible. Subdivide it. Should shrink it a little. S Shift Y. I'm gonna expand it a little. This is some of the times that I use end result here. So S Shift Y. Just want to get the shape going right. There we go. This back section, I'm not going to cap yet. Delete it. Do that towards the end. Same with the front here. We'll do that number. Might lose a little of that curvature right there. So yeah, this one needs a cap. We're going to grid fill it though. Turn off end result. Change that offset. There we go. Gives us kind of more of a like a blunt face there. Good enough for now. Want it more cylindrical than that though. So let's do an eye and set it again. I'm gonna bump it up twice. We have this shape going on. We might need some pretty heavy geometry. Let's not go too heavy first. All right. This section, delete. This section, delete. I want this to be a loop. Curve, no, circle. There you go. This should be pretty good. Looking at this from an angle, this section's like broad in the front, skinny in the back, so let's do a cube to get started. It's gonna run into the other mesh, so we're gonna delete the top face, scale it in, just kind of get the blocky shapes going, something like this. So it's mostly squared up. Can actually stretch the back a little bit out. Just one subdivision and should do it. Scale that one in a little, tiny bit. Do end result now. Need to see through it though, so I can select everything. There you go. I don't have any other photos of that, but I'm pretty sure it's like a lot broader in the front. Something like that. There we go. So, bullying this together to see what happens. It's gonna be messy. There's a tool I'm thinking of right now that's perfect for this, but I don't have it Apply that. Grab this one. Using bool tools once again, so we're gonna go to enable bool tools in your add-ons, edit preferences, add-ons, enable it. And I'm going to do a union, destructive union. So it'll actually combine these two shapes. Now it's going to be messy. So you can see they're pretty messy. This is why I wanted to do half at a time. This exact reason. So everything up to that middle section, delete it. Oh, select it all the way through too. There. So now, just half a shape we have to worry about. And we can do, collapse that to there, like so. We'll just try to get these all lined up with one another. Not using auto merge right now, but it's something you could do. So like this here needs somewhere to go, so could turn on snapping for vertex as well. So switch it over to vertex, just hold control to snap. That'll let you do some pretty cool things. And then select everything with A, M, merge by distance. You'll see me do that throughout the rest of the video, but we'll do that one. The quad right there. Which ain't bad because I needed to pull that forward. So this is still quads. These kill the smoothness in it a little. We'll be all right though. So when we do a mirror on the x-axis, it should already have the origin in the center. Can bisect it just fine. Could do a subdivision surface. There you go. Not too bad. So the trick with all that, if you didn't notice what was going on, is you're trying to use about the same resolution for those two objects and then bullet them. So the same spacing in the faces. It usually helps out quite a bit. Now when I do a subdivision surface, those minor flat faces, nobody's really going to notice too much. If they do bother you though, you can go into sculpt mode, hold shift and just lightly smooth everything a little tiny bit. Might give you a little gap in the middle there, but boom, shade smooth, check it out. Subdivide again. For the most part, it looks pretty good to me. Turn them off in edit mode though. That piece I still might just do a bevel. Make it a little sharper like that. And smoothing it like that, surprisingly, wasn't too bad. It makes it have a slight imperfection to it that I thought looked pretty interesting. All right. No, get out of isolation mode there. This blimp section, or these fins or whatever, obviously there's 3. But I'm gonna start them from their original mesh. So this section, C to use the cursor selector, middle mouse to deselect. I shouldn't need more than that. So I'm gonna duplicate by hitting Shift D, right click, P, separate selection. So we still already have the mirror and everything going on with it. But now we can just work on this one piece. I'm gonna take a guess here. We can. It's very tip is up here, so push that up. We're gonna get the footprint right of this shape. By pressing G twice, you can slide it around. It won't affect where it meets the surface for the most part. I think that middle one's looking the best so far. That looks a little too thick, so. All right, so we're just gonna delete these ones. We don't need them. I'm okay with this. A little too far forward though. Something like that. Okay, perfect. E. It's going to extrude along normal, which should pull it out to the side a little, like that. So keep that in mind. You got to press E and then Z twice. Just bring it straight up for now. Bring it down. 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 Over and over and over again. I really want that right there, but that'll be all right. Have a little bit of fun with this. You can select these ones here. And you could use Loop Tools flatten. Kind of straighten them up a little. We'll move them back a tiny bit. All right. Bring these two a little closer together. There we go. I really want that going up and down in that direction though. You can see that's not exactly happening right now. So I'm gonna try this. I don't know if it's gonna work. We're gonna delete the backside. And I'm gonna delete the front side too. We only have the frame. Oh, before we do that, let's fix the front here. We're gonna try not a grid fill, but a regular. Well, you know what? Maybe yeah, grid fill. Sorry. I'm gonna try to grid fill this loop here. So Alt click it, Control F, grid fill. You can see we want to offset, right? So let's do negative 1. We could change the span around. Control F, grid fill, -1, change the span. Let's see what we end up with here. That's about as good as we're getting. 1 and -1. Which is okay. This is a triangle. We don't need the bottom here. So this is a triangle. At least it looks like one. It's not. Got a vertex chilling here. Now it's a quad. There we go. Should be able to line these up. Maybe not perfectly, but close. Now, one additional vertex will let us get all those back ones in the same direction. All right. So solve that one. So I'm just going to do a cut all the way through to here. Pressing the E. So knife tool with K and then do this and hit E. We'll turn it into all quads here. All right, loop, 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 loop. Oh, nope. There we go. Place that at the top. All right. I'd say it's a little too wide, but let's do origin to, oh, let's apply the mirror. Shrink it in a little. Do the mirror again on X bisect. There's a lot of fun little tricks we can do right here. But for now, that'll do. All right, here's a trick. We need this to spiral around this object. And this is not, because we've shifted it around and stuff, so it could get kind of weird. So we're going to get the subdivision. Just get rid of it for now. We're going to apply the mirror. We want it to spiral around probably the midsection right here. This section. So Shift S, cursor to selected. All right. Where that cursor is, press Shift A, create empty plane axis. You'll get this. This thing, we are going to do an array. Fixed count of 3. Okay. Instead of using relative offset, we're going to use object offset. And we're going to select that empty now. For this to work, this empty has to have its origin point and this origin point for this object meet at the same position. And so what we're going to have to do now is just do origin to the 3D cursor. All right, object, set origin, 3D cursor. Don't do relative offset, just object. And we're probably going to have to rotate this in one way or another. There's a caveat here. You'll see I have scale right now changed in rotation. Press Control A, apply rotation and scale. So now they should also be zeroed out and ones, right? Location's not so important because location is where the origin point is. So I should be able to take this and spin this. All right. If I hold Control while I do this, it'll snap to a rotational value of some sort. This is obviously off. So we're gonna have to get this right. So let's try this again. That's why it's off. Let's apply the mirror. Shift S. 3D cursor to selected, so Shift S to do that. In my case, I got a different system using machine tools, but so Shift S, we can do to cursor. I have to hold Alt when I do this, or it'll copy rotational value, which isn't that great. Ooh. What's going on now? Okay, there we go. Do the array again. Object offset. Click the empty. Rotate it around. This is going to be 130 for now. 130 degree. Okay. It should have been 120. My bad. There we go. This one's correct. These ones are perspective. So I'm not worried about it. I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're canted out about like a little triangle kind of thing. Size might be off though, just a little bit. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, so once that array's done, you can keep it if you wanted to. I'm gonna apply it. Get rid of the empty. I don't need it no more. And you'll notice that these edges don't line up with the model anymore. Okay. Turn off optimal here. I'm worried about the resolution, but can apply subdivision surface here. Turn off optimal. Just want to have them look about the same. They won't be perfect, but yeah, we'll go a little higher on the back here because we're going to end up having to add these probably. So, all right, we'll turn the subdivision off for now, but watch this. You can take this, you do a shrink wrap. I'm going to go into edit mode real quick, and we're going to select the loops here. So Alt and Shift to select those. Go here, create a vertex group, assign, go back. So now we're going to do our shrink wrap, use our vertex group, target this main piece. You can see it cleans up those edges right onto that. Almost perfect, like sometimes it's a little off, but it can distort your mesh a little too. So keep that in mind. It's a possibility. You can also do inside. Might give you a different result. You could try project as well. Yeah, play around with your settings, get them how you want them. Not real happy with that. Sometimes you have to, and I don't want to do it, but you need to move the shrink wrap above subdivision. Give you a cleaner result. Sorry to me. Those look a little thicker though, in my opinion. So maybe I can add a loop cut to one of these. You'll notice when I do one, it doesn't do the others. Kind of unfortunate. So probably could have did the array later. You could still work on that one if you wanted, I guess. And then just array it again. Do the shrink wrap again. All right. Since I have no earthly idea what these things actually are other than boxes, that's all I'm going to create. Some cubes. Go straight into edit mode. Move them over. Gonna stick them in there. I have no idea which one's wider or anything. Just for a little variation. I'll make one wider, one not as wide. All right. That looks like a cylinder, I think. Could be another box. I know this one back here is a box, so. It's hanging on some kind of support bracket, but I can't make that out either. Control plus sign on your number pad. Select all that. Shift H. That's all I want to do. I want to get it right a little bit more. There we go. That's looking pretty good. That shape's a little messed up though. Could probably go into edit mode, Alt H, Might be able to get away with just dumping those two. And then maybe dumping every other one after that. Or almost every other one. Nah, we'll leave them for now. All right. Personally, I think I didn't duplicate that one, did I? I think that might just be a big one. Do it on normal. Oh, what the heck's going on? We're gonna make... Okay. Make that the active element. Switch to active element. There you go. That should do it for now. And so this kind of gives you an idea of what we got wrong here, but it's not horrible, but it's not great. So we're going to do S and X at point, let's do 0.6. Copy it. So just hover over it, press Control C. And 1 second. I did that first section up there too. So I can do, ooh. No, undo that. Needs to be on median. 0.6, there we go. I had it on active element, I think. 0.6. There we go. So just configured it correctly. All right. See if I remember how to do these pieces here. Actually, I'm going to do a shift right click. Did I place it where I want it? I did. Alt Z, Shift A, create cube. Go to edit mode. What I want is only one edge on the corner there. So hit Z twice if you're using normal. You can switch between global and normal. Something like that, maybe. Interesting side effect of using normals is you can, if you're using cubes, you can just move them by hitting Z. Like you always know which axis to use. It's going to let you move whatever direction it faces. It's kind of cool in a way. So like, I know I want to move this one down, but otherwise it would move at an angle. So I don't know how interesting that really is. All right, take this, destroy it. Subdivision surface. Should be good. Close. You can spend more time on these and get them pretty accurate. This has a little pipe coming out of the back of it. So you could do something like that. All right, now we can do a spline. Curve. Bezier curve. Go to edit mode. Must snap back to face here. Ignore backface calling. Project on the self. Project individual elements and align rotation to target. The trick with this is we have these Bezier curves now. While they're all crazy, I'm going to do automatic real quick. Get them kind of going right. You can turn project individual elements off. What's going to do is if I was to press G, start moving, hold control, basically it's going to place it on the surface here. Project individual elements will let you do multiple pieces at the same time. So check this out. Let's say, I'm just going to snap them real quick. Let's say I got all of these and I hold G and I hold control. You'll see it does this weird nonsense. But if you had it set to individual elements, they move on the surface still. So it's pretty cool. And so that's usually why I leave that on, but not always. It doesn't matter where your cursor is, it matters where the point is, so keep that in mind. This one feels like it's so far in front of these now. Maybe they are slightly back or something. I don't know. I'll just plug it right into the corner there. Kind of match these shapes a little bit. All right, so when you do that, you can grab all of them, press G. Well, maybe not this first one. Press G. And just hold control. Kind of re-snap them all to the surface here. Do an automatic. Get it kind of lined up. It should be pretty close. We'll go to the Bezier options here. Under geometry, we can change it to depth. Hold control while you move this, help you out. Makes it move slower. You can move these manually too. So if you want to just offset it a little, You can do things like that. Right. All right. Shift S cursor to origin, which is a world origin. Shift S origin to cursor or world origin, whatever. Now we can do a mirror. Boom. There we go. We got that over there too. Same thing here. Mirror. On our way, getting this made. So we could do more wires and all kinds of fun stuff. There's so much you can add to this, including like the little front piece here. And that's another array thing. You do it kind of like the tail fin, but just use cubes or cylinders or whatever you want. Yeah. And then you add your support pieces. Get different photos so you can tell what the heck's going on under here, but you can see where it's going. And these tail sections, if you even these out, like you can place one here, one there, one there, one there. You can see how you can kind of do this real quick. Like it's not, it doesn't take too long. All right. Now this gets a little confusing, but might need a lot of polygons for this. So personally, I go through and just reselect the ones in the middle there. I should have had one more there, but something like that. Deselect the very bottom and deselect the very top. I don't know if it goes to the top or not. No, it doesn't. Okay. Just pull them out a little, tiny little bit. Not too bad, huh? Could be better, but it's not too bad. Yeah, let's do these ones. Maybe not entirely correct, but it's close. And there we go. You have to fix that one, but anyways, you know, that one's done again. So all you got to do is rearray it. And simplicity's sake here, we'll do a Control F grid fill. Came in perfect. We're good. Inset. Nope. Sorry, we ain't doing that. Duplicate this section. Separate it. Can't even tell which direction I'm extruding. Okay. That's right. Normals are backwards, all in, recalculate outside. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So select it all, press Alt in, and recalculate everything outside. It should fix it. Otherwise, you just got to flip them manually. And then, this is going to be fun here. I have no interest in modeling all this, but I'm going to press basically E on these vertices. Extrude them out like so. S0. Select that point. Press M, merge by distance. And it didn't merge any of them. Thanks. I'll select these edges. We're going to P separate selection. We're going to try selecting them all again. Merge by distance. Okay. So you got to select them with X-ray on, obviously. That's the better way. But so instead of using subdivision, we're going to use skin modifier. And that is it's a lot of skin modifier. So radius here, just jump it down to like 0.01, 0.01. I gotta select everything first. 0.01, 0.01. Look at that, it worked. I thought you could lock these together, but maybe you can't. All right, maybe you can't. 0.05, 0.05. Oh wait, 0.005. Oh, I'll show you. Okay, so right now I'm doing a recording tutorial, and I'm doing a live Twitch stream, right? So I'll jump back to it after the tutorial is finished, the recording. If you're watching this, I'm talking to people online right now, so. But I get to it. So you'll be able to actually go watch this on YouTube after. Not right away though, because I gotta upload it and do all that fun stuff. Holding shift while doing this will adjust these. They're a little thicker at the tip. They're not that horrible. Yeah. Might be better doing an array, like I said, but all right. So I just applied the modifier real quick, but I just want to get this mess in here figured out. What's going on here? Just all right. It's a little better. Isolate it. What I'm gonna do is just go through these real quick and select them. Delete them. There we go. If you do bridge edge loops, you can actually add a curvature to things like this, so keep that in mind. But you can only do like one section at a time, which is kind of meh. And it resets every time too. Number of cuts, there's one more. I mostly want these little sections. Why I'm adding one cut to it is because I want it about the same width as the gap in the middle there. So if I go ES, I could do this number. I don't know if repeat last would have worked on that. I mean, it could have. It's possible. A double face. I don't know what's going on there. There we go. It's a little wonky, but we'll do a circle. I already know this is about to go bad trying to circle this, but I'm going to do it. Circle. Oh, not that one. It's curve. Let's do circle. Okay, so these faces are not actually attached to right here. There's a double edge or something going on. Unless there's just two normals there, which there shouldn't be. Kind of bizarre. All right. I think we'll have to call that there, though. And if you do smooth this, you'll notice that it's too low poly. Smooth is going to be kind of crappy, but go to normals, auto smooth if it's low poly. So like if you're doing like this full size structure, you're adding all the little bars to it and all the other fun stuff. It's just not going to a lot of this being subdivided and stuff's not needed. You don't like this being at whatever it's at right now, 2, maybe 1, be fun. Those don't really need to be that high. So there you go. Turn all the optimal display on. And I'm going to turn the background off now. So that's a pretty lengthy process. Now, take your time on it. Really, you don't need like all this excess. things like this. Press Shift G, select faces by length, see what we can, oop, maybe not. These kind of things, you know, just go through and optimize out. You don't need all these faces. Even if this was a game model or a bake model, I doubt you're going to bake a ton of detail into this area. Unless you're doing, like, you know, in most games, you'd probably have this, like, flying over a base. Not a big deal. You wouldn't see it real close. Or maybe in the background in a VFX movie or something, but there's no reason for all this. And yeah, I don't think repeat last works on those kind of things, does it? Ah. Shift R. Yeah. No, it doesn't. This might be the only problem with using that skin modifier, because it's pretty cool that you can do stuff like that. It's just sometimes it becomes problematic. Yeah, so take your time, model everything correctly, get better references, have some fun with it though. You're not stuck. You're not stuck modeling. You can always go back, fix things, change them out, try again, do it over and over again till you're pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna save this as I forgot what these things are called. They're called runway balloons or something like that. The reference image had the name, I think. Runway blimp, runway balloon. So I'll just name it airstrip balloon, I think. All right, there we go. And this will end up being the thumbnail. So origins, 3D cursor. Easy to do a quick screen grab. Of this. So viewport render image. Boom. A little janky. Not too bad though. You could always go to viewport, turn the samples up. Might help out a little. Really didn't though, surprisingly. It's also Workbench. So you can use Workbench render. You can see what that looks like. It's pretty much the same thing. But you can press F12, I think. Oh, you gotta put a camera in. Never mind. So we're not gonna do that. But anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll end up using that, but nonetheless, I will check you out in the next video, all right? Take care.